Waheguru Khalsa, Waheguru Ki Fateh. My name is Gursant Singh, and I'm pleased to report that this weekend, on Sunday, there was a really fabulous and inspirational march by Sikhs in San Francisco for Sikh freedom in India. And I want to commend the people the Sikhs who sponsored and put on this event. It was very well done. There was langar served to everybody, and there were thousands of people that came. Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib was present there. There was kirtan, and it was really a fabulous event. Just want to point out here how they had posters of some of the martyrs and some of the explanations of some of the things that had happened in 1984, which was really very good, I think. And a lot of the young Sikhs who were there really benefited, I think, from these stories and the examples from others. They had interviews with some of the Sikhs, old videos that were presented there too, from Sikhs that were martyred in the 1980s. So this was a really great event, and I'm really glad that I went there too. We went with a couple buses here from the Gurdwara in Yuba City here on George Washington Boulevard. So that's really why I'm really happy that I went. I do want to point out that I looked there at the event for people from the Yogi Bhajan organization, and I'm sad to say that there was nobody there that I saw, and I looked quite a bit for them, even though the ashram, as they call it, where the Yogi Bhajan followers live, is just a few blocks away there at Haight and Ashbury, and this was down there at the Civic Center there in San Francisco. So I really want to appeal to SikhNet and these Yogi Bhajan followers to start participating with their fellow Sikh brothers and sisters. You really have to wonder why the SikhNet people and the Yogi Bhajan people never participate with their fellow Sikh brothers and sisters in these marches, these protests, and it almost seems like they'd rather participate in these inter-religious events that are put on by Hindus and Buddhists and other people of faith. Now, believe me, I respect the Hindu religion and the Buddhists and all these other religions, but the SikhNet people and the Yogi Bhajan people say that they're Sikhs, and so they should really participate with their fellow brothers and sisters in intra-religious activities, we'll say. Now, I also want to point out here that I just was made aware of a letter that was sent by a high-level Yogi Bhajan leader. She's a high-level leader in the Yogi Bhajan organization. Her name is Ekon Karkar. She's one of the directors over there at SikhNet, and she's one of the trustees, actually, on Yogi Bhajan's council that oversees all of Yogi Bhajan's estates. So she's quite a high-level person, and I was really disturbed, I should say, by this letter. It's a 3-page letter giving explanations about why the SikhNet people and the Yogi Bhajan people do some of the things they do. Now, the first thing that she says here that I want to point out about why that it seems like they're participating in these what they call inter-religious activities, like you've probably seen many of these pujas. As you can see here, Yogi Bhajan was given Hindu last rites, and you can see here also this Gurmukh Kaur, who's a famous yoga teacher, and she's actively participating in Hindu pujas. You can see this Hindu deity over there on the left. I'll just back up here so you can see over there. That's a Hindu deity that she's worshiping. And then Yogi Bhajan participated in these pujas, these what they call interreligious activities or practices. And it really seems like they would rather do this and participate in these interreligious activities, as they call them, and rather than participate with Sikhs. So this is really a concern of mine. And again, I want to read some of what Ekon Karkar says in this letter. She says, to be a Sikh is to transcend all religions. And I'm quoting from her. She says, we are Muslim Sikhs, we are Hindu Sikhs, we are Jewish Sikh, we are Christian Sikhs, we are agnostic Sikhs, we are Shinto Sikhs, we are everything. Now, this is really, I think, an outrageous statement, especially from somebody who's a high-ranking leader in the Yogi Bhajan organization and a director at SikhNet, that she should say that equate Hindus with Sikhs and all these other religions. And I have to say that it's not really her fault in a way, because Yogi Bhajan taught this. I was with the Yogi Bhajan organization for 30 years. I was around Yogi Bhajan a lot. So I really observed a lot of what he taught and what he tried to make us believe. And his idea was to have this universal religion and to, I believe, to get people into this Bhajanism, as he outlined his beliefs. So she's only reflecting what Yogi Bhajan taught and what he practiced. And I will add that Yogi Bhajan tried to keep us away from all the Sikhs from India. There was a very conscious effort to keep us away. When I was in India in 1982, I wanted to stay longer. I wanted to stay with Sanchranel Singh Bindranwalaji, who I met there in 1982 in October, there on the roof of the Guru Nanak Nivas. And when I told Yogi Bhajan that I wanted to stay there longer and help fight for freedom and try to help the Sikhs there, he said absolutely not. And he brought me back to the United States. So there are many other instances where when Los Angeles, when Sikhs would come there to visit, he would purposely keep us from interacting with Sikhs. I remember one incident where I took a group of Ragis who came to play kirtan there, and they wanted to go to, I was one of the drivers there, and I was taking the Ragis around to different, Yogi Bhajan wanted me to take them to Universal Studios and Disneyland and things like that. And the Ragis didn't want to do that. They wanted to go to some of the other Sikh Gurdwaras. And I remember Yogi Bhajan really chewed me out when I took the initiative to take them to some of these other Sikh Gurdwaras, like the Vermont Gurdwara and some other Gurdwaras that were very small Gurdwaras, but they were very modest places, but devout Sikhs. And I really enjoyed that. You know, we played kirtan and we met other Sikhs, but Yogi Bhajan would have none of that. He completely chewed me out when I got home. It was very confusing for me. And he, for those that have met Yogi Bhajan, you can know how he is and how commanding and how just really aggressive he can be when somebody disobeys him. So I had disobeyed him by taking these Ragis around. Anyway, so Yogi Bhajan was instrumental in teaching these type of things, and Ekon Karkar is just reflecting this as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so let me read some more about what Ekon Karkar says in this 3-page letter. This is just pretty much the gist of what she says. She's speaking now specifically about this Gurmukh Kaur, who you can see here. This is Sanatan Kaur, Gurmukh Kaur, and Guru Singh and this Guru Dev Singh, who are all part of this Yogi Bhajan group. And they did this numerological auspicious date. You can see this big Shiva idol there in Rishikesh. And so these are the kind of events that you see the Yogi Bhajan people doing rather than participating in Sikh events like Sunday. And so I want to point out how Ekon Karkar views these what she calls interreligious activities. She says, to my mind, this is Ekon Karkar speaking, when people like Gurmukhar participate with Hindu leaders in doing a puja is just an interfaith event. Well, I think this is very incorrect. First of all, Gurmukhar has gone to this Rishikesh place about hundreds of times, I think. She goes there 3 or 4 times a year, teaches classes to people. She does these pujas. I can't put all the pictures here because the 3HO people get my YouTube videos deleted because I show people that are not in the public. Like Gurmukhar is a public figure, and so I can put her picture on YouTube. But some of these other 3HO people are not public figures, so YouTube, at the request of SikhNet and some of these other 3HO people, have deleted my videos saying that I'm invading their privacy. But Gurmukhar is a public figure, so I can do that. Now you can see here, like I mentioned, that she's doing this puja with this Hindu deity. I don't know if you can see it off here on the left here, with this Hindu Swami. And this is definitely more than an interreligious activity or an interreligious event. She's been photographed many, many times with a lot of these Hindu swamis doing these pujas, and then Yogi Bhajan's family themselves participated in this last rites ceremony for Yogi Bhajan. And so you can see here his wife, Indrajit Kaur Puri, his son Rambir Singh, and his other son Kulbir Singh, all participating in this last rites Hindu puja and for Yogi Bhajan. Now I know this is the truth because, first of all, we got pictures of this, and then also Anjukar from Sikh NNN, Sikh News Network, called the ashram there, the Pramat Nikirtan ashram, and talked to one of the organizers there and one of the top leaders there. And she said that the organizer there at the Pramat Nikirtan ashram said that this was definitely a Hindu last rites ceremony. She remembers it. The ashes were put into the Ganges River, Yogi Bhajan's ashes. So there's no question about it. Yet, again, the 3HO people deny this. And I want to read, that brings me to this part of Ekon Karkar's letter here, where she says, where this person who sent the letter said, did Yogi Bhajan really have Hindu last rites? And if so, why? Anyway, so Ekon Karkar responds, no, he did not have Hindu last rites. So he completely denies the truth here. I have no idea where that story came from. He had his last rites at Kiratpur. I mean, and we did a news story about it. Okay, it's true that some of the ashes of Yogi Bhajans were put at Kiratpur, but there were other ashes that were placed at the Ganges River here by this Hindu Swami. And there were other ashes too. I was there at one of the ashes ceremonies in New Mexico, where his ashes were spread all over the Tantric yoga retreat there in the hills of Espanola. They were all put on top. We were down below this helicopter, and Ranbir Singh, Yogi Bhajan's son, was up there and put them out of the helicopter. So I know that there were different last rites ceremonies done with these different ashes. And so I have every reason to believe that this is the truth about this, with the Yogi Bhajan's Hindu last rites being done at this Hindu ashram. But yet, Ekon Karkar of SikhNet denies that completely, and SikhNet, to this point, has always denied it to that point. So we need to reach out to SikhNet. We need to be very firm in demanding that SikhNet tell the truth about these things and with these 3HO people. Many people have suggested with the 3HO people that we just keep silent and we not bring up these issues. But I am definitely of the mind that we need to confront them. We need to bring these issues out into the front. And otherwise, they will not change. I can guarantee you. I was with them for 30 years, and I know that they will continue these things unless we confront them. We need to bring these issues to the Akal Tucket and we need to have these issues out in the open. We need to confront them. So here you can see Yogi Bhajan doing these pujas with the Hindus. Now this is another item that I really want to bring to people's attention here. This is a new logo that Yogi Bhajan's Sikh Dharma has adopted. And it has an image of the Sikh Khanda here in the middle, and they have 5 figures there. Now in the announcement that I received, they said that these 5 figures were supposed to be the Panj Piare. This is totally sacrilege of the Sikh religion, I feel, and many other Sikhs do feel this way. Because, for one thing, these figures are more like yoga figures. They don't have any dastars on, or turbans, as Westerners might call it. They have no sign of any kirpans on. There's no sign that they're even remotely associated with the Sikh Guru Gobind Singh Ji's 5 Panj Piare. So, by Yogi Bhajan's organization, the Sikh Dharma as they call it, doing this, I think that they're trying to integrate more and more into these Hindu practices of yoga and these other, they look kind of like swamis or yogis is what that is. So again, we need to write SikhNet, we need to tell them to stop this, to change their ways, all right, before it's too late. Unfortunately, you can't see in the bottom, it does say Sikh Dharma here, you can see it, it doesn't have the rest, it says Sikh Dharma International here. So you can clearly see this is their new logo, and I'll put some links to it. You can see it in the description to the video. Now this is the other thing that's disturbing about this announcement. They said that they call the Sikh Khanda an Adi Shakti. Now, the history of this is Yogi Bhajan, he told us that, you can see the Sikh Khanda here, he told us that this was called the Adi Shakti, and it represented the female energy or power, which we believed for, whenever we were in, forever the time we were in 3HO, and I just found out truth about these things a few years ago. And so this so-called Adi Shakti, there's a mural down there that's right next to the SikhNet offices. And you can see that a Catholic priest painted this mural, and it's in the Darbar, the Study Guru Granth Sahib too, which is really shouldn't be there. And this is this Virgin Mary, as they call her in the Catholic religion. It's nothing more than a Catholic goddess, and they've got her in the middle of this Khanda, Sikh Khanda, and then they've got the Sikh gurus as like rosaries around her, around this Virgin Mary, which is completely a sacrilege against Sikhi in my mind. And they've also got some Hindu gods up there in the corner. I've got Yogi Bhajan down here. Equal to Guru Ram Das, is supposed to be an image of Guru Ram Das here. They've got him equal. The whole thing is completely a sacrilege against the Sikh religion. But yet, Yogi Bhajan's Sikh Dharma calls that Khanda, they call it an Adi Shakti. And this is what Yogi Bhajan said. This is the Adi Shakti with this Catholic Virgin Mary in the middle like that. So these are things we need to change over there at the 3HO ashrams. Now I just want to mention, if we get cut off in this video, please go to the link at the bottom in the description, and it'll be continued, because I only have 20 minutes on these videos that I can put on YouTube, okay? So, now here's the next thing I want to point out. This was a white tantric yoga course, as the Yogi Bhajan people call it, and it's very disturbing how at the end of this white tantric yoga course, and Yogi Bhajan had us doing these things, I have to say, so it's not the Yogi Bhajan followers' fault. At the end of not every, but a lot of the tantric yoga course the Yogi Bhajan taught, he would play one of Guru Gobind Singh's shabads, banis. And then he would have us dance and just go wild after this tantric yoga course. This picture is not very good, but I purposely had it like this so you can't see the faces of the people in here, otherwise the 3HO people will get it deleted off of YouTube. So you can see here this couple. they're embracing and just kind of churning